There we go. Okay, do we got it live now? Everything good? I think we're good. I think we're live. Pretty sure. Looks like it to me. Cool. There we go. Hello, Authentic Peach. Here we go again, huh? I didn't say this ride wouldn't be bumpy. It's just the way it is. How's everyone doing? We do got a bumpy ride ahead of us. Candace Owens is completely off her gourd again. It seems anyway. I don't know. I'll let her talk. I haven't watched it yet. I mean, obviously, she's live streaming right now, so I'm behind it. I'm gonna be skipping around stuff probably on here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oh, not a whole lot. What are you up to there, Mr. Peach? Mrs. Peach? Which I don't see any icons on this chat. Because, you know, in the studio. Oh, it's a Clippy. You have a Clippy. I don't... Okay, so can somebody tell me what the Clippy is? Does that have anything to do with, like, Windows 10 or something? Is that what it is? They get rid of Clippy with Windows 11. I don't know what they've done to Windows 11 here, but it is such crap. It sucks. Can I get rid of this chat? Oh, yeah, I can. Cool. Don't really want to see her chat much. Oh, man. Just waiting on people to come on in, and then we're going to get this started. It's crazy, crazy time. Crazy times. Apparently, Egypt is somehow behind this. Again, I guess, you know, now they have Egyptian soldiers involved with the end of Charlie Kirk. Not making this stuff up. But Candace probably is. No, I don't know if she's making it up. But I don't know why that we would do that. Why would we have foreign soldiers here to do the job that literally the United States government could take care of in an instant? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what she says. All right, gonna go ahead and start the video, guys. Let's jump right on in. Pause game is bad.
All right, you guys, happy Thursday and some breaking news for you.
See how happy she is about it, too? That's kind of weird. I don't know. It's just odd to me.
Because I knew it. I knew it.
Did you?
I didn't know it, but I knew it. And now,
That's her
ladies and
slogan
gentlemen,
now.
I know
We don't know it, but we know it. Such a stupid slogan.
it. There were some Egyptian military men that were on the ground on September 10th in Utah on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination. And we now need to demand that they publicly release details.
What time did that plane leave? It was hours before Charlie Kirk. So unless they were still there after their plane left, it doesn't make any sense.
Of who those individuals were and why they were there. This is huge, okay? In other news, Zionists are going crazy like they are every day. They really do not want us investigating Charlie Kirk's murder for some unknown reason. They want us to stop noticing that there are so many issues in the story that they're trying to sell us.
Okay.
And now they're up in arms demanding.
I could tell you this straight up, you know. Oh, it's a symbol of I'm here to help, and I have no... Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Gotcha. I had actually no idea about that. The problem I have with what Candace is saying right here is very simple. If the truth is what they told, and people still kept trying to investigate it, and I actually have nothing to hide or anything like that, I would also be acting the same way as the Daily Wire, just letting... Or the Daily Wire. TPUSA, just letting you know. Like, I'd start getting a little annoyed if people kept going, so what really happened? And I'm like, dude, this is exactly what happened. I'd start probably getting a little pissed, you know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that that's why they're doing it. I'm just saying, when Candace makes a claim like, this is weird, it's actually like, well, actually, it wouldn't be that weird. I would be really pissed off, too, if you wouldn't let up and I was telling you the truth. So I think no matter what, you get that reaction, whether they're faking it or whether it's real. You know what I mean? And whether they're faking it or whether it's real, or whether they're telling the truth or not, that's not the reaction here isn't the weird part, Candace. That's kind of the problem that I have, is she tries to use nuance to be like, to fuel her side. The Egyptian thing, it's a little weird. Okay, so we should look into that, right? But when she tries to put other things into it that aren't actually exactly related, that's when you lose us. And it's like, look, you're trying too hard to build a mountain out of crap. You know, just take the actual weird stuff, report on that, and then don't point fingers necessarily. Because now Egypt's involved, so why would Egypt be involved in this? Why would Egypt at all be interested in silencing Charlie Kirk unless it's because he was pro-Israel? See, it kind of pulls the narrative apart, right? Like, I don't see Egypt backing Israel that hard. Do you guys? Is that a normal thing? Is Egypt actually pro-Israel? I don't know. Maybe they are? That's what I'm confused about, though. I don't think they are. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and Google it real quick. Is Egypt pro-Israel? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Egypt is pro-Israel or something. Foreign relations between Egypt and Israel, which dated back to 1948, Arab-Israel war. Yeah, what is it? Okay, don't tell me directly. Can I not have, like, okay, search assistant there. There we go. Egypt has a complex relationship with Israel, often described as cold peace, where it cooperates on security issues but faces significant public resentment towards Israel. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think the Egyptian government's very friendly with Israel, per se. They have a truce with them. Like, they're like, we're not going to war with you, but we don't like you. So why would Egypt help in Charlie Kirk for, I don't know, Israel? Does it make sense? If you guys can make that make sense for me, please let me know.
That Tucker Carlson
I genuinely
gets
love to know.
canceled from all future Turning Point USA conferences, and you're never going to guess how they're trying to spin this. Well, you probably will guess.
Okay.
It's
Are they spinning it?
Welcome back to Candace.
I don't know if it's necessarily spun per se. We'll have to see the example, right? But we'll see. I like the intro music to this. It's very, very, what's it called?
All right, so while I was away in Wyoming, I received a rather shocking tip.
Evergrey.
There were, as I am sure you are aware, some inexplicable flights that were happening that day. And actually, they're not even inexplicable. They could very easily be explained. It's just that the feds are kind of declining to do so. And we don't really have much information about those flights. In particular, there was one flight that had I would say, describe it as an interesting morning. It was contracted by our military. For whatever reason, this plane departed from the Biggs Army Airfield at 6:13 a.m. That's down in El Paso, Texas, right?
Okay.
And despite the fact that they were heading to Montana, they decided to make an unusual dip at 9:16 a.m. Again, this is in Utah time, okay? We're doing all this in mountain time. They dipped down to just 300 feet above ground over the Provo Airport runway, and they made a loop. I'm going to show you a screenshot here this is from Flight Radar, so you can see that loop. And again, this is a military plane, a military contracted plane, and we know it's military because it's leaving from a military base, okay? Really interesting thing happening there. Mark, if you want to jump on right now just to describe this for all the women that are listening to this podcast, what we're seeing here with that chart on the bottom.
Happy to provide some mansplaining.
Yes,
so at the bottom,
viewers. Do you even know what I'm arguing at all? I'm genuinely curious. Do you know what I'm arguing? Like, what do you mean? She has 7,000 viewers right now. You're a Muppet. Candace rocks. Love her so much. Like, can you just explain to me? Oh, you retracted your message. No, you didn't. Never mind. It popped back up. There we go. I'm just curious. Like, Candace rocks. Love for Candace. Okay, cool. What am I arguing? Do you know? Are you able to explain that? Just curious. Because I like when people come in here and they read the title immediately and they don't understand the argument. So they're just like, screw you. Candace is so much smarter and better than you, and you're dumb and everything sucks. She has more viewers. And so does Hassan Piker. So does that make Hassan Piker right? I guess. Okay. Good job. I guess you are pro Hassan Piker. Are you pro Destiny too, because they get more viewers? Guess you like those guys too. It's a weird take, buddy.
Altitude and the airspeed of the plane. You see it take off, goes to level flight, and then you see it dip down in the middle there, and that's what we're looking at. The time on there says 3:16 p.m., but that's UTC. That's just the general time for airplanes. So you go back minus
it's airplane time.
Utah time. So
Hell yeah.
9:16 a.m. And then it goes back up and then continues to Montana.
Okay. So it continued on to Kalispell, Montana.
Well, what's that mean?
And then it lands for just under an hour before it again departs back for Texas. Once again, on its return trip, it
Grace and peace for you too. Thank you.
To just over 300 feet over the Provo Airport runway. Now,
but what is that? Well, I don't understand what's the significance. Airplanes, they spin around and do stuff all the time. I don't understand. They're probably just waiting on a land. Waiting for clearance. That's probably what they were doing. That's, probably spinning around there waiting for some clearance. I don't know why do you think it's weird that they would spin around an airport. That seems like it's pretty normal. Or maybe there was some serious headwinds coming in. They had to wait for a break. Who knows? I don't know why they would spin around an airport. Is this supposed to, worry me? Are airplanes not supposed to spin over the top of the airports at all? They're not supposed to make loops? It's odd, right? I don't know why she's making such a big deal about this. She's like, it's just spiraling around this airport. Oh, man, that must be the, the holy symbol of, we're going to jihad someone today or something, right? What are you talking about? Why is this significant? Can you explain it? Maybe I'm missing something, right? Maybe? I don't know.
We're going to show you that again.
Let's see.
That this is from Flight Radar. That dip, I should tell you, because there has been a lot of speculation about it online. That took place approximately 26 minutes after Charlie was assassinated. So that dip took place 26 minutes after. And then
did they want to get an aerial view where, the tint is completely covering him, I guess, or something? I don't know. Do you think the aircraft made that shot, maybe? Do you think the shot came out of the aircraft? That doesn't really seem likely. I don't know if the pressure, seeing that it's this kind of aircraft here, I don't think the pressure would hold. I don't know that would be good, So I doubt it. But what is the significance of this spinning around the area at the time of Charlie Kirk having that happen to him? I'd like to know.
Went back home or back to the home base in El Paso. Now, it's possible, just to be fair here, that the plane was running a military training exercise that morning. Maybe they were training a new pilot on how to make a fake landing or something. I really don't know.
Make a fake landing? So are you saying it didn't land? Then how the hell, what, they parachute in? Candace, did they parachute out of the aircraft? And no one see the giant parachutes in the sky by the college? I don't know. Did they parachute in at an airport where they could have just landed? What happened there? What are you talking about? It was a fake landing? Did she mean to say that?
But this
I don't understand.
Did indeed happen. We can confirm that. And
okay.
It has been accurately reported that the plane is owned by a certain LaSalle, L-A-S-A-I LLC, regarding which there haven't been any more details provided because
why would they need an airplane,
the
though?
Most transparent administration as they claimed they were going to be. The second mysterious flight, which was well reported on at the time, I would say this was the most reported upon flight, again, by the public, and which eventually created so much pressure that it warranted a response from one of the owners of the plane, who was Derek Derek Maxfield. He's married to Shalane Maxfield. The two of them, they're a billionaire couple from Utah. They run a human sex trafficking charity. There's a lot of human sex trafficking charities in Utah. Okay. And I should let you guys know that they are not the only owners of that plane, by the way.
Is there a point to this?
Someone who didn't hit internet radar, who also co-owns that plane with them, is a person named Casey Baugh.
Okay, so she's not going to go over that person, just a billionaire?
I'm mentioning Casey Baugh because I found it when I was...
Why did you mention the billionaire? Okay, so they had a weird flight, then somebody else, Casey Baugh. What's this Casey Baugh person? What's the significance?
Researching,
can we get to this?
That Casey Baugh had his name on an institute at UVU, the Baugh
That's probably why he was over
Institute, there. Which operates out of the Woodbury Business Building. Okay. I was like, whoa. When we didn't know any details, I was thinking like, hey, did this person let somebody onto the rooftop? But of course, now we know that Tyler Robinson was not on the Woodbury building or on campus at all, for that matter. So Casey Baugh is not a suspect for having provided him access.
Why did you even bring him into this at all then? Well, go back to the other guy. That was weird. Suspicious flight. Other guy. Go back to him then. This is useless.
In any way.
I don't understand this.
I will say that the Baugh Maxfield plane, I'm going to take you through what that was doing. It caught a ton of attention because the plane departed from Provo, Utah at 1:20 p.m. local time. In theory, then, of course, yes.
I just want to know what she wants.
Shot Charlie Kirk,
like what she's trying to say here.
Went straight to the airport and then took off on a private plane. And why this got even more attention was because they seemingly turned their transponder off. That alarmed the public. Why is this plane terminating their transponder? Why don't we know? Why can't we see more data happening on this plane, right? Being collected from this plane. So obviously, this couple, Derek and Shalane Maxfield, were feeling the heat, and they issued a statement the following day, sometime in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock on September 11th. And they said that contrary to a lot of the online conspiracies that were taking shape, the plane was actually empty when it departed Provo en route to Arizona, where he and some of his friends were picked up and they returned home to Provo. Okay. Some people thought, did they pick up like Turning Point USA people and return back? We don't know.
Okay.
At all, actually, who
how is this a weird flight then?
In theory, it's not really our business, but of course.
Yeah, obviously. What are you talking about? So now she's just theorizing, okay, well, maybe they picked up some TPUSA people. Why would they need to? Would they, even if they did, what would that mean, Candace? Like, seriously. Did some of them maybe, I don't know, book a flight back to maybe their state and go, hey, well, this all happened today. And what were some like I don't know, maybe some of the staff who was just like, hey guys, how about y'all go home today? And obviously police are going to be here doing this investigation. Some of the higher ups are going to be doing what they're going to be doing. We're probably not doing anything for a little bit after this, so I'm going to need you guys to go home and be on standby. They could have been like, cool, nearest plane out of here, book a private plane or something? I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. Even some of the higher ups probably would have just been like, there's nothing I could do today. Yeah, I guess I'll go home and sit this one out. All this trauma just unfolded. I don't know how I would handle that either. If that happened to somebody in front of me at work, it's not like they'd just be like, okay, guys, go back to work. You know, after someone got their head exploded or something, you know what I mean? Or crushed by a giant machine or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know exactly what happened in that situation. I've never been in that situation. Luckily, because some of the situations I'm in they're pretty deadly. You know, charcoal factory. It's not exactly a good place. We take big lumps of charcoal, refine them all the way down to a powder. And it takes a lot of heat to do that. So there are accidents that happen, and there could be accidents that seriously, you know, take someone's life. The whole thing of charcoal falls on you. It can actually suck the oxygen out of you if you get trapped under it because of it. So it's really dangerous stuff. Not to mention breathing it in is highly, highly, like, cancerous and bad. But anyway, so what I'm saying over here is, like, why would it matter if TPUSA people ended up booking a flight after that and just going home? You're going to have to, like, explain why that would be a weird thing. Like, they would still be there to, I don't know, what, hold more debates? I don't know. It's a little odd to me. Anyway, podcast, you need a bingo card over here? Have a blackout bingo right now, I bet. Absolutely. Yeah, she's, yeah, I wonder if she is going to get sued. I wonder if they'll just let it go. I don't know. Because sometimes it's not worth it, I guess, depending on what it is they're doing. if she keeps up with this and doesn't provide any evidence, it's a good possibility she goes down. I really genuinely think she may go down and get sued. I don't know what's going to happen, though. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe she provides good evidence at some point.
Everything should be our business.
Maybe.
Anyways, here's what he said specifically. I'm going to read his statement in its entirety.
Okay.
For good measure. He wrote, Shalane and I join our community, our state, and our nation in mourning the death of Charlie Kirk, and we pray for his family and loved ones during this difficult and tragic time. His death and the way that it occurred was both horrifying and senseless. We pray that the extensive efforts by law enforcement to locate Mr. Kirk's killer will be swift and successful. Spoiler alert, no, it has not been. As often happens, unfortunately...
Well, you don't know that, Candace. You have absolutely no clue whether it has been or not. You have no clue what the investigators have found. We don't know if it's just tied to this one guy or if there is actually a genuinely, dense network. She has not covered the Turkey Tom's Discord links there. Turkey Tom had the Discord leaks of Tyler Robinson. She hasn't covered that at all. Why? She hasn't mentioned it. She's acted like it has not existed whatsoever. That's weird. She could have at least been like, I don't believe that these are legit, that this looks like a psyop to me or something, but she hasn't even brought it up. She's completely leaving it out on purpose. That's suspicious to me. That'd be like me leaving out some sort of evidence of Candace and only covering the Tyler Robinson stuff, right? Why is it that I'm covering both, like a typical MAGA guy would do, and she's only covering one side of the news, like a leftist would? It's weird, right?
In the wake of such terrifying and public events, a variety of baseless theories and suspicions around Mr. Kirk's murder immediately took hold on social media, including one that has unfairly
no one is
impacted
safe.
our family.
Steven Crowder found that
to
one
set the record straight, we provide the following facts. Yesterday at 1:20 p.m. Mountain Time, a private aircraft owned by one of our companies with the tail number N888KG departed the Provo Airport for Page, Arizona. Pursuant to a pre-scheduled flight plan, occupants at takeoff included 2 pilots and no passengers. That tail number arrived at Page, Arizona Airport at approximately 1:55 p.m. Mountain Time. At 12:55 p.m. local time, upon arrival, Derek Maxfield, boarded that plane along with 7 additional passengers for the return trip to Provo. We departed that PGA airport in Arizona at approximately 1:40 and arrived at PVU at approximately 3:15 p.m. Mountain Time. Radar services with air traffic control were terminated in mutual agreement between Denver FAA Center and N888KG, approximately 10 miles from landing at PGA, which is consistent with generally accepted standard practice when flying in and out of non-towered airports like PGA. N888KG pilots followed all FAA requirements and protocols, tower directions, and the predetermined flight plan.
That may be correct.
This round trip was made at my
brother-in-law's a pilot,
and solely for my purposes.
He would know if this is accurate
Any
or
suggestion
not.
that the flights by N888KG yesterday are in any way connected to the tragic shooting of Mr. Kirk is inaccurate, false, and without any credible basis of any kind. To our knowledge, no one associated with yesterday's flight by N888KG has been contacted by law enforcement for any reason. And then they just say, we ask that you just focus on bringing the people.
Okay. So is she going to call BS to this? Let's find out.
Charlie Kirk.
Does she call BS? I want to know.
Okay. So a couple of interesting
call
things.
BS. Come on.
He admits that something like the services were terminated, but in compliance with law. So they didn't break the law when they did that at all. And what I can tell you is that I had a flurry of pilots that were working on getting details on that flight manifest, confirming its landing, etc. And things got a little bit weird. They were saying that it was unusual, that the stuff that was pretty standard protocol, the feds seemed to be guarding. Very strange. Now, I'm not saying this to implicate Derek Maxfield or Shalane Maxfield at all. In fact, that's why I wanted to read their statement in their entirety. But I am telling you that the feds were guarding this just like they were guarding the Dairy Queen. It was weird.
Okay, so she's just she's still acting like that. For some reason, this flight's weird. And for all she knows, she doesn't know. She's not a pilot. She has no clue. Oh my God, my pause game. That's crazy. It's like I caught her mid-sneeze. It's weird to me that she's still trying to associate this flight with something weird, even though there's a proper explanation and all, and she actually doesn't know. All she could have done was literally probably type all that out into Grok and see if it was normal, or she could have asked a pilot. Now, she's going to ask a pilot and be like, oh, well, that's weird. and she's going to probably just go with the one pilot that she has. I don't know. But I think she needs to get a couple other pilots. I wonder if that's something like my brother-in-law has ever done, if he's ever heard of that. But I'll have to ask him too, But yeah, sources tell her exactly. It's exactly how it is. Hello, everybody. Hello, Loyal Love. Hello, Tina. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Nita. Hello, I've already gotten some of them. I got Peach. I got Jay Witt for sure. Yeah, thank you all for coming in here. I really do appreciate it, guys. Enjoy this moment of a sneeze. Yep. Green screen problems. And let's get back into it.
Airport personnel had been instructed to lie, actually. The situation was therefore not routine. And if you haven't caught on, I'm not really here for all of these extraordinary anomalies that just keep happening, right? Information is power. We want the information so we can dispel the rumor. I don't see any reason, by the way, Derek and Shalane, if you want to reach out to me and tell me personally who was on the manifest, and I can just say, and I actually haven't offered you that until this moment, I would be glad to dispel all the rumors and innuendo. If the feds are telling the airport to lie for some reason, there was one person who said they were supposed to land at Millionaire FBO, but then suddenly they shifted to another FBO and things were weird. I would be happy to clear up everything for you in a way that makes sense, and it could genuinely be because the government is so inefficient. Major point that I want to make here is that
did any of this help solve anything?
That has happened is this kind of foreign angle. Like right away, they just got out in front of it and were like, "There's nothing to see here." And we discovered, and I broke the story, that there was actually a third plane, which I found to be quite odd. I reported on it, and Zion
why is this odd? It's an airport. I think the most likely thing to probably land in an airport would probably be a plane. Just saying.
Too panicked, right? They issued what I describe as a false debunking regarding the point that I was making. What they do in circumstances like that is when you say something that's really big, they focus on something really small and inconsequential, like an error that you made.
Oh, God.
And I did make in terms of time zones. And they go, "Oh, well, this has been debunked," right? It's been completely debunked. You saw this in the Brigitte case. She started going after people for defamation, not people that wasn't attacking them for the substance of the claim.
If you made the mistake, it's not okay that they had possibly made the mistake in retort. And then you're like, aha, see what they were trying to do. But it was just like, but you also didn't act that way when you thought you made a mistake. It's kind of weird. Did you think about that at all? Did you think about that before saying it? Not a very nice thing to do, Candace. I think other people should be allowed to do what you do.
Claim that you were born male, because she was, but rather she goes off after them, like she's going after me for saying, "Oh, well, actually you're saying that I stole my sister's ID and that's a crime, so I'm going to sue you for that." And then the media runs with it and says, "Oh, this has been debunked." Nothing is being debunked. And when they do that, when they focus on that, they're hiding something. Okay, when they
the
focus
media,
on something,
you think the media? Do you really think the media is in on this, Candace? Do you think the media knew that was going to happen to Charlie Kirk? Really? How do they keep all them secret? How do all these underlings also know to keep all this secret? I don't know about that. I don't think that was the intent. I think it was literally shown, and everyone accepted it, just like you about the time zones. You accepted that, and they did too, and they were like, "Oh, look, Candace made a foolish statement." Now, if we adjust the time zones for where we were, I guess at the time, or something like that, maybe it adds up to being closer to Charlie Kirk. Maybe. But you also thought that was a mistake, and you believed it for a bit. Right? Is that what you're saying? But for some reason, when the other people, and they actually clown on you, because it looked like you were wrong, then you're like, "Oh, look, they were trying to do something nefarious." It's like, no, I think they were just celebrating a win against you. Because you said something dumb, or at least perceived to have said something dumb, right? I don't think it was anything trying to cover anything up. I don't think anybody was trying to cover anything up with that.
Consequential, a minor mistake that you make.
Just so weird.
They're hiding something.
Yeah, we're not allowed to ask questions. Only she.
That on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, an Egyptian Air Force plane took off from Provo, Utah airport. I reported that even more curiously, that Egyptian military plane had previously only ever been to the United States twice in that past year. And both times...
Wow, only twice. So that makes it even weirder, right? It would be weirder if it was 0 times. The fact that it's come here a couple of times makes it a little less weird.
It was in the lead up, in the weeks leading up to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay? Here is that plane. The tail number you can see here is SUBTT. And this is a screenshot again from flight radar. Now, of course, when I pointed out that this foreign
completely
military
different
plane
okay.
arrived on September 4th, so 6 days before, into Provo, Utah, and departed 6 days later on September 10th, they ignored the huge substance of this, which is why is this Egyptian military plane here in the middle of Utah? Instead, they said, oh, she made a time zone mistake, like as if I'm on flight radar every day, accustomed to reading the data here.
But you're going to have to connect that to Charlie Kirk somehow. That's my problem. See, I don't care about the time zones per se. Let's say the time zones are exactly right whenever everything happened. Why would the Egyptian military be here to take care of something that the United States is in on instead of having the United States military, which could get there undetected completely by driving there? I'm sure there's a base pretty close, right? According to the base that's, there, that they landed at. Pretty sure they probably could have used one of those guys and had no detection whatsoever. It doesn't make sense to me that Egypt would be involved in this whatsoever, but okay.
Yeah, I thought that I was looking at mountain time,
Connect
like local time on flight radar. As Mark just explained, no, they do it according to universal time. Okay, big deal. Like actually big deal. Then I saw that the one random Twitter user that caught that mistake suddenly got boosted in the algorithm and they made it a trending story. Like it was like trending story.
Candace, what are you talking about? It didn't just get boosted. They were the ones who managed to attempt to prove you wrong and look really convincing, right? Right? It didn't get boosted. It's everyone saw that and was like, correct. And of course people are going to do. When you make a really, really good tweet, sometimes they go viral. That happened to be this guy's very first tweet probably ever then that had done that. And it was a good point.
Has been debunked. And I was like, I've been telling you guys for a while, the military runs X, like not Elon Musk, the military. These are military bots that you're seeing on X. But that was essentially the vibe.
I don't think the one trying to sell me their cooter is military. That'd be a hell of a military plan right there. Man, something tells me that the 99% of the bots actually are not military because it's really annoying. Military OF agents running and that'd be so funny. You're sitting there doing that and it's just a guy all serious. Sir, yes, sir. Now you get down there and you send him a picture of him licking his balls. Sir, yes, sir. Sends an OF like AI generated picture. I don't know about that. I don't think that's what's happening there, Candace. Have you been on X? You see the majority of the bots? Most of them are AI generated PORN.
Military plane, don't look over here. We have debunked it. It has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk conspiracy theory because she got the time.
So now Elon Musk is also in. Elon Musk is. There's a conspiracy there. It's not Elon that is in charge of it at all. Elon Musk probably knows about what really happened to Charlie Kirk then. I guess he has to be someone in on it because the military's, running it. God dang, there are a lot of people in on this. There are a lot of people in on this, and somehow they're all keeping their mouths shut. That's crazy. Not any of them has leaked any information. That's pretty impressive. These people are really, really good at keeping secrets.
It was actually
that's a lot of people.
A couple of hours earlier than she said.
Okay. Yeah.
You know me. That just makes me
we do.
Curious.
I think we've gotten
Anytime
to know,
you see a Snopes level debunking, as I like to term it, it means you're onto something.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it just means you're onto something.
Through the
we don't know what that is
CIA
yet, but it's
something.
something.
Our decentralized
intelligence
agency tips box, and I found a very interesting email. I'm very careful here to make sure I don't give this person away.
Musk is now in on it too. Technically, he's got to be in on it. He's got to know something.
Have intimate knowledge regarding the flight, and you can take what I'm about to tell you to the bank.
The guy with the gun. Okay? That's the guy who shot Charlie Kirk. Literally the guy with the gun. Is there a reason why that can't happen? I'm genuinely curious, and I know what you're going to bring up. Let's see if I'm right. Why couldn't that guy on the rooftop have done it. Spy versus spy versus spy stuff going on, absolutely. You know, Musk is in on it, something special. Yeah, I really want to see what this guy is going to say though. What he thinks, who ended up taking out Charlie Kirk. I would like to know, because I think it was the dude with the gun. I don't see why not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious. There's a court case that will tell us soon. Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm hoping I'll be able to stream that case. I think they did. Did they go ahead with that? Did they have it today? They were supposed to have it today. The one on the roof. The one with the 30-06. That guy. Let's see. Let me see here. Curious. Will they live stream case? Did they didn't retract that, did they? Generate an answer. There we go. Let's see here. The court proceedings for Tyler Robinson accused are expected to be open to the public, but there's an ongoing discussion about limiting media coverage. Oh, now they're trying to limit it. They did confirm that they were going to live stream it earlier. Now we might not get it. That's a bummer. That's a bummer if they don't do that. They have to live stream this. They said something about limited media coverage too. Like if they do it, then they won't have to show his shackles, and they won't have to show him in a. They could show him in civilian clothes, which is so messed up. Still, you know. Which guy on the roof? The only guy that had a gun on the roof. What are you talking about? Did you see anybody else? Is there any footage of anybody else other than Tyler Robinson on the roof? Have you seen any footage? Because apparently I've missed it. I'll show it to chat if there's footage of another man on the roof. So why is she not directing any attention towards Muslim countries other than Egypt? Apparently, I'm not sure. You know, it's kind of odd. Is Tyler Robinson guilty or innocent? Okay, are you going to answer any of my questions? I know you can hear me. Genuinely curious, man. Like, you keep asking me, like, different questions that have nothing to do with anything. Like, just real quick. Is there a reason why you think Tyler Robinson could not have done it? Again. I'm gonna ask that one more time. Okay? Hopefully you can give me an answer. That's all I'm asking for, man. All right, Buzzy? Just tell me, why do you think Tyler Robinson was not the guy who did it or could not have been the guy who done it? Really, really curious. Hopefully, while I'm waiting on him to give an answer, I'll let Candace talk here a little more.
In fact, you can even take this as a direct challenge to Kash Patel to dispute what I am going to say. Thus far, have you noticed that no one has done that? Like when I say something, they go, oh, she must be lying. Oh, the screenshots must be fake. This is obviously Charlie didn't say this. Oh, the thing is lying about the Catholic thing. Oh, but nobody's doing any debunking here.
Got him. Okay, so Buzzy, you're not gonna tell me why you don't think Tyler Robinson could have done it? I guess. I don't know. I'm curious. Do you think he couldn't have done it or could have done it? Just trolling the troll. I'm just asking you a question, man. Like, that's all. I'm not coming down your throat, man. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not doing anything. I just want to know, like, why do you think Tyler Robinson might not have done it? Because I'm just curious what your answer is going to be. Because people tell me it's impossible, and they don't give a good reason. So I'm hoping that you have a good reason for it. You know what I mean? Candace doesn't prove anything exactly.
Because I make sure always that I have.
Yeah, she is lying about the gag order, too. That's just wild. I don't know why.
I say it, and I feel that I have been presented with absolute solid proof from this individual who is in proximity.
Let's hear this.
To one of the individuals that was aboard this flight. Okay.
Okay.
I can now report to you that it is a fact that on 9/4 there were. This was not some dropping by in Utah.
Let's hear some hard
trying
proof.
to claim because the plane needed to be serviced.
Okay.
That's what they ran with. They ran with, this could have been a routine servicing. I guess there's just no place from Egypt all the way to Utah that an Egyptian military plane can, like, get a tire changed.
Depends on when it needs changed, Candace. What area depends on it's in before it's like, hey, it has hit this threshold, needs to be replaced. Planes actually get parts replaced very regularly at a very specific point in time, usually. Sometimes a little early, never too late. Never too late. It's like literally they're on those pretty well. So it's not that weird that they would get service in Utah at all, whether it's all the way from Egypt or not. Do you think your car needs an oil change every time it goes down the street and comes back to your house? Every single time you fill up your gas tank, do you think you need to do an oil change with it too? Now, airplanes do have a couple of flights in them before they land for service. And it could have just been routine. I don't know.
This is totally
it's a weird
routine.
statement.
Nothing to see here. Well, I'm telling you that for a fact.
Okay.
That
Let's hear it.
plane was carrying military subcontractors. And for a fact, they were dropped off in Provo. Okay. And that they did not make it back to Cairo. I showed you the plane left. They left on September 10th. It then laid over in Wilmington, Delaware, and departed back for Cairo on the 11th. I am telling you that when that plane left, okay, those people were mysteriously missing from that plane. Okay.
Okay. It's not very much of a mystery with military contractors, but okay.
Why are
You know what military contractors could be too? Fun fact. It could just simply be contractors that the military has hired to maybe work on something specific. I know people, I'm not going to say who. I don't think I can. That literally work on aircraft that just get contracted by the military. They go straight over there. They do their job. They turn around. They leave. They got to get clearances and stuff like that. It's not that out of the norm, you know? I know several people who contracted the military, and it's nothing crazy. They go in there and they just repair machinery. You know? Sometimes they need to call a little bit more specialized hands for certain things because they don't have the people on hand to be able to do it. You know? Something happens. You know? Military guys get sick too. You know? So it's not the craziest stuff. No, she hasn't given any evidence yet. We might be coming upon some evidence here.
Egyptian military subcontractors. What are Egyptian military subcontractors doing?
And if you guys are new here, please subscribe and like.
Provo,
I really appreciate y'all being here.
On the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Okay.
I am saying as a fact.
Yes.
Kash Patel, please feel free to dispute this.
Okay.
In fact, I almost demand that you dispute it. I think you must. You've been saying everybody's a conspiracy theorist.
You do realize he doesn't have to dispute this, though, right? Kash Patel is not in charge of military contractors, okay? He's in charge of the FBI. There could have been a call for military contractors from Egypt on some certain piece of equipment. It could have been them teaching these people how to work on aircraft to send back to Egypt for them to be able to work on their own. I don't know why they would have done that, but anything in general is possible. I'm not sure. But I would like some sort of tying to this. Can we get more evidence?
Conspiracies are dangerous. Thinking is dangerous.
It's not.
That aircraft.
Why would Egypt be involved with Charlie Kirk, though?
For any routine servicing, okay?
How do you know that?
Extraordinarily, this person told me that it was there on some discreet mission. So discreet that this individual...
So discreet that we know, but we don't even know. Or wait, whatever her stupid slogan is.
Was scared for their life to present this information, but felt compelled to present it because they, too, were horrified like the rest of
Oh, good. Well, tell us who it is, Candace. Let me guess. It's completely and totally anonymous, and there's no way to verify if you are making this story up or not. Isn't it weird how that keeps happening? Anybody else weirded out that somehow she's like, hey, so just like the New York Times, this anonymous source told me that these crazy Egyptians came swinging down with their blades, and man, it was a crazy scene, and then, you know, they went and took out Charlie Kirk, and then they went home. We blame Israel. Good night.
The world. Again, the mistake that was made here,
I guess,
was
I have no idea what she's talking about.
People felt something, right? They felt something. They understood that whatever happened here was a tremendous act of evil.
Okay.
So it led to
that's normally what murder is.
More goodness, more people standing up and doing something brave and saying, we need to root out this evil from our society.
All right.
What were they doing there? When did they leave? Who are these individuals? I don't understand. Kash Patel, tell us about this flight. Tell us who.
If Kash Patel were to come out and say, hey, these guys were here, we were training them to work on a specific part on an aircraft for them to go back home to do, and how much do you guys want to bet that she would be like, I don't buy that. I have inside information, people that flew on that plane that knew the whole mission, and they were afraid to tell me that mission. But as if the military guys, 3 of them, right? And there's like 9 people on board. The military guys are just going, hey, by the way, we're going to tell you our mission. Tell anyone, I'm going to have to kill you. You think those guys were talking? Really, Candace? How do you know this? Genuinely, how do you know this? Is one of the 3 people, unless it was one of the 3 people that were there on that mission, telling you this? That's the only possible way she could know this information, if it was one of the 3 people. But at that point in time, they probably would have told Candace the full mission. So what was the mission, Candace? Because I guarantee you it wasn't a random person flying on this flight with these 3 military contractors. Because I doubt these 3 military contractors would actually open their mouths and tell this person, we're on a mission here, but you need to be afraid for your life, because if we hear you tell anyone, we'll have to end you? Really? So that's what happened and that person told you? But you can't tell us who that person was, of course, because their life's in danger. Why would those 3 guys at all tell this random person? That doesn't make sense, Candace.
Was on it, okay?
It doesn't make any sense.
I wanted to be very thorough here in presenting this information, so I was like, let's actually upgrade our flight radar account so we can go back 3 years on this plane's flight history.
Oh, God, we're going this far into it? Okay.
You can have on Flight Radar if you get a business account. And here...
If it's been here a lot, it's been training for it. If it's not been here at all, it's weird, because why was this plane here suspiciously?
Is what we pulled
It's one of those 2.
For you guys, so that you don't have to pay for a business account, which is way too expensive, especially for me, who doesn't actually use Flight Radar often, but I am doing whatever I can to solve the murder of Charlie Kirk. Here it is. 3 years. You can see November in 2022. We can go back as far.
All right, let's go back. November 13th of 2022. Who was assassinated? Okay. December 20th, 2022. Who was assassinated? Okay. 2023, February 25th, 2023. Was anyone assassinated in this area? Is this plane associated with assassination? So it's been to the United States several times. Only been to Utah once, though. That's weird. But also, Omaha, Nebraska, a couple times. Wichita, a couple times. St. Louis, though, twice. Wichita, okay, Wichita 3 times. So it hasn't been to, like, one place a lot, and then all of a sudden Utah. So Paris, France to Minoy. Okay. North Dakota, is that? It's only been there once. Is that a weird one? I don't know. Is that strange? What about Wilmington, Delaware? Is that a weird one too? I don't understand. Let's have her explain why this is so weird to us.
As November and December of that year, we can see that it routinely flies through Paris. And I noticed, and you can take your time to freeze this and go through everything.
Oh, God, the dirty French people. Don't degrade Charlie Kirk by saying that these white flag-waving surrenderers came here and did an assassination too, right? Paris is involved now. Here we go. Paris, France.
I'm not going to read it all. I noticed that the trend here that it always flies to
I love French people.
Space. Okay?
Just got to learn to wipe, guys.
Look in 2025.
Can't be doing that.
Under 2025, you will see this is what it did.
Okay.
It went from September 4th, it went from Cairo to Paris to France to Minot, North Dakota. On September 10th, it departed Provo. I think I'm missing one here, right? It departed. That's right. September 10th, it departed Provo, Utah at 7:14 a.m. local time. Okay. And I am telling you that aboard that plane, it was not the same people that got onto that plane. Okay. That is what I am told by this individual. She is saying
Okay.
That
I'm sure she knows them well. She's probably quite acquainted with them.
Was that they had some Egyptian military subcontractors person that she knows intimately. I would not have taken this to the bank.
Really? So she was part of the... How did she get part of this mission? So this person that's part of the mission told you this? Is that what you're saying? How does she know this intimately? I'm curious.
Walk her through having the courage to do this any further. And I am certain that this happened. And I am certain, I feel like the rest of us feel, that we are not getting a full picture. Now, I will again stress that this individual never, ever said that the mission, the secret mission, was related to Charlie Kirk. In fact, they were explicit that they weren't entirely sure what the specific mission was, but that it was top secret.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe playing devil's advocate, right? And to be clear, when you play devil's advocate, you're advocating for the devil. So that's what I'm actually kind of doing here. But maybe
that makes sense.
It was a joint military exercise of some description that was so discreet that it required just like, everybody to ignore it, for the military to boost a random account to pretend that it was nothing, to lie and pretend that this plane was here because it needed to be serviced in some capacity. That's not true.
Or maybe it's a top secret mission and any disinfo for the military is probably good for it because people don't want them to know why they would be here on a top secret mission. It's probably a good reason why. I could imagine the military, when it comes to top secret info, is told lie about anything involving that mission. Makes sense. Kind of would help it be a little bit more top secret, wouldn't it? I don't know. You're going to have to connect this to Charlie Kirk somehow and prove to me that Egyptians took Charlie Kirk out instead of the guy that was on the rooftop, with the gun. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so silly. That one guy never did tell me why he thought that happened. I really wish I had
military exercise between Egypt
gotten his perspective,
and
but
America
okay.
for some unknown reason, and Provo.
I just wanted to know why.
Utah was
if there was a different argument.
To do this, and they decided to leave this plane, and maybe the people are still in Utah. I don't know, but I'm demanding that we find out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you couple that information with what was trending yesterday, right? This is the headline that came out of the Daily Mail. Kash Patel shuts down Charlie Kirk foreign intelligence probe in an
now, I did see this
feud
a bit.
with Trump's counter-terror chief.
Now, hold on. If they're feuding with Trump's chief, isn't this good news for Candace? Can you maybe start trusting Trump again? Maybe Trump is advocating for this to go deeper, for this investigation to go deeper. If it were the feds, hey, maybe Trump is fighting against them and trying to get this going on. See, you don't even know, Candace, and you're saying you're losing your faith in Trump, which makes me very suspicious as to why you're doing all this. Because you started off very anti-Trump when you first hit the internet. You started off very, very anti-Trump and very leftist. And then when you go right back into that, as if Trump was a part of it too, with no evidence. See, that's what loses you people. That's what's going to make me not want to be involved in any way, shape, or form with what it is you're promoting.
Really makes you wonder what Kash Patel is hiding. There's absolutely no reason for Kash Patel to say, only I'm the person that's supposed to be looking into this. It makes no sense. If he is interested in solving Charlie Kirk's murder, then Kash Patel would be working with everyone across all departments.
Well, he also could just be wanting to be the most famous and badass FBI director on the planet. He could just be a really shitty person. You ever think about that, Candace? I don't know. I don't know why he's doing what he's doing either, but that doesn't necessarily mean, yet again, that he's covering anything up. He could just be a lazy a-hole that's not actually that good at his job. It's a good possibility.
Would be locking arms and saying,
and Trump seems to be
Charlie Kirk was a wonderful
little bit at war
friend.
with
He
it.
did everything he could to put this administration into power. In fact, Trump would be late night tweeting, being like, I don't accept this narrative. Trump would be asking questions. His sons would be asking questions. Turning Point USA executives would be asking questions. But instead, Kash Patel is saying, don't ask questions. Everything that you're hearing is a conspiracy. Homie has really turned into Dr. Fauci. Okay?
Has he?
Is like Dr. Kash Patel Fauci here, who's telling us.
That was a good one. That was a good one, Candace. You should keep that one.
To look any further would be somehow wrong to the legacy of Charlie Kirk. It would be harmful for us to ask questions. It would be harmful for us to think. That's what I'm saying. Stop thinking.
Not necessarily. Maybe we should go through with the trial and see what it presents. And maybe we should go through and see what the rest of the FBI investigation does present. The FBI is not shutting down the investigation. They're just shutting it down to foreign people. Maybe they have literally found the trans-terror network that they were talking about. And maybe they found it to one direct source and cannot pinpoint it outside of that. And maybe it's all within the United States. It's possible, Candace. Militias form. We've had bad militias in the past try and do some really bad things. And they were stopped by our government. That has happened before. This could be another one of those situations where it all started maybe in Portland. Maybe it's one wealthy person who decided, I'm going to fund these people to take care of this. And maybe the buck stopped there. Or maybe it didn't. Maybe it goes to Soros or something. But maybe they can't trace it to Soros like a lot of other things. Who knows?
So that's the phase that we are at, where people are trying to pretend that to protect Charlie's legacy, we have to say less. It's the exact opposite. We have to say more. And again, I am personally challenging you, Kash Patel, and your super transparent administration.
Speaking of trans.
To dispute what I'm saying. Tell us in confidence that this plane came in by itself because it just needed to be serviced. You know, just nothing here between here and Egypt. Just needed, to put some fuel in the tank.
Okay, but can you provide any proof of what you're saying about it? You're speaking about this as a matter of fact to the audience, but you're not providing any receipts. So what am I supposed to do here, Candace? I can't just take your word for it.
And then go home. Answer the questions that we are asking. I am telling you, I feel it, that this flight, if we learn more about it, if we can figure out who is on this manifest, there is going to be a lot of questions that are answered in terms of what happened on September 10th, okay? I'm not positive, but I have a pretty good gut feeling that the way that they behaved when I pointed out this flight, which is to lie and to explain nothing, means that they are scared and it has them shook. And of course, it's in the Middle East. So,
do you really think for 1 second that nobody on the... here's the thing. Our military knows how self-sufficient the internet is. The military themselves have been picking people like the guy who originally founded Anonymous, right? He works for the government now. Do you think they're not aware of what 4chan and other places will do on collecting info? They'll look at the flight patterns. They'll look at every single thing that was going on that day, including the wind speed of how fast that wind was going, because people are going to try and determine, hey, what about this bullet at max velocity? And what about the wind? Could this kid been able to make that shot and all that stuff, right? Of course the internet's going to do that. You think the government doesn't know that by now? The government has had information on the internet since before you were born. Well, Candace. Is Candace my age? I don't know. Was she born in 95? Because the government started collecting data on the internet before the internet was even public, when it was the intranet in general. Now, they didn't collect data on everybody's because, you'd have to go there and physically grab it. But they've been collecting data from other places. They probably were the original people fishing by dropping a USB right on the ground or something. Floppy disk or something. Infect it with malware. Have people on the inside taking it, like they used to do, right? That used to be a very common thing. Half of that was probably the military doing that. Collecting data on banks, on all sorts of different companies. So yeah, they've been doing this for a while. You think they haven't figured out all these people exist on the internet too? Especially whenever they're hiring them on? It's completely crazy. I don't think they're shook by this information. I think, if anything, they would pretend to be shook by it to keep you off the trail. But I don't know that for a fact either. But she's really digging into this one thing that doesn't seem to be that out of the ordinary per se, because she's not even posting how often, in general, Egyptian planes come to America. She's only shown that one flight, which has been coming to America since 2023, which makes it a lot less weird. Okay, especially from Egypt. If it's able to come over that many times between 2023 and 2025, that makes it not as crazy because it's all the way in freaking Egypt. You know what I'm saying? It's all of a sudden not so weird.
I'm thinking there might have been some foreign involvement in Charlie Kirk's assassination.
From Egypt, though? Why Egypt? Why would they pick that country? Why wouldn't they do it with their own military, Candace?
Anyways, you guys, we are going to take a break and then put you through a
10-minute thing of misery
struggle session to explain to you that the best way to honor Charlie Kirk is to cancel Tucker Carlson or something. Anyways, we'll be right back. Things, I mean.
I don't know. I'm not going to watch her ads. What do you guys think? Let's see what chat's doing right now. I haven't paid attention to you guys as much, so I'm going to try and get this lined up. There we go. She looks happy about that. Race, still on the Charlie thing, bro. Yeah, I'm just watching this, just this mountain of fire just, catching. Yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying myself, I guess, for the most part, because it's weird. She keeps pulling up all these, crazy conspiracy theories. And it's just, I don't know, enjoyable to watch, I guess, to a degree. It is what it is, she really this clueless? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gut feeling, my goodness. Yeah, it's just gut feelings and, stupidity for the most part. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. But it is. Nobody on Rumble, or not Rumble, Kick. I don't know why. Kick just does not do well for me. Am I missing something? Like, I don't understand Kick whatsoever. I don't know. I may not have it properly set up. I'm going to have to investigate that later. Let's see what Candace has to say, though.
Mark was mansplaining in my ear, and he is right. I want to make sure that I speak perfectly. When I said that the Egyptian flight, in its past flights to America, had landed on American air bases, I didn't mean they physically landed on American air bases. I meant that they landed in cities where there are Air Force bases. Okay. And the notable exception here is that Provo does not have an Air Force base. They have one in Salt Lake City, but they do not have one in Provo. So I hope that makes more sense there. Now let's switch gears. I can't wait to see what you guys dig up. I also should add that if you know someone else on...
But you don't know someone, but you know someone else? Is that what you're going to say? That'd be really funny. Hey, guys. Thank you all for coming in here. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Thank you all so much.
Best, guys. I don't care where you are in the world, as this person just proved. Doesn't matter where you are. If you have information, please email us at moretips.
You didn't miss a whole lot. She's just blaming Egypt again.
To this Egyptian flight, this military flight. What was it doing? Maybe you checked them in at a hotel nearby, right? Maybe they were over the border and you saw randomly a bunch of people leading up to this between those dates. Let's see, it landed into Provo on 9/4. And then it departed on 9/10. There must have been hotels, presumably.
Or some Valhalla under witness protection.
Maybe they're staying with certain
Inside
friends.
Job. Could be.
Let me know. Did you see some Egyptian-looking dudes in Utah? I feel like that way they would stand out in Utah, maybe.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say, Candace. What, are they going to come out dressed up in, like, full garb? I doubt it. They're probably trying to blend in, right? If they're on a mission.
Right? I think they definitely would. Please let us know. More tips at CandaceOwens.com.
Why would they just get the whitest Egyptian guys, right?
They're trying to solve this. It just makes me so happy. All right, jumping into this rather hilarious story, irrespective of whether or not you personally support the nation of Israel or not, I most certainly do not. You've got to admit that the public representatives of Israel, the Zionists that have platforms, are insane. I'm talking clinically insane, need to be shipped off to rehab for a couple of weeks, Malibu, maybe get you next to the sea or something.
Okay.
And they have come undone. They've never actually really been done on the topic of Tucker Carlson or myself, but this is exceptional. The backstory here.
Is it anything like, you know why I say that, like, there's a lot of trans people that need to be put in insane asylums, and there's, like, a lot of, the left that needs to be put in there? It's because they're making death threats, and they're actually going out and physically attacking people. I think you'd have to be mentally ill to be doing that stuff. So they should be put in padded cells and straitjackets because I think they're a danger to themselves and others. But with these people just, like, I don't know, talking bad about you, do you really think that those are the type of people that need put in insane asylums? I don't know if that's okay. If Destiny was just a guy that just was, extremely on the left, but he wasn't making death threats, I would never advocate for Destiny to be put in some sort of, like, insane asylum. You know what I mean? So that's what's kind of weird about that. Are these people, like, dangerously threatening people? Because Destiny, he is doing that. That's why I think he needs to be thrown into an insane asylum. He's calling for the death of others. Calling for a genocide of conservatives. I think that's pretty insane. But is that what... Are they doing that to you and Tucker?
Here is that Tucker Carlson, in case you missed it, hosted Nick Fuentes on his show.
Yeah, okay.
And to be clear, I've hosted Nick Fuentes on my show. I don't like Nick Fuentes.
I didn't get nearly as much stuff. Why didn't I do it?
Not because of anything he said in the past, but because how he treated me and my team and how he lied on me after it. So I actually am judging him based on my experience with him, okay?
You were both really garbage to each other. That's what happened. You were both really not good to each other, and you both share that responsibility.
Don't really believe in cancel culture, and it was why I platformed him in the first place. He said something when he was 18 and went through the gamut that I went through, that Tucker's going through right now. You know, I'm a 36-year-old adult, and I'm equipped to handle that.
Oh, she is actually older than me.
For an 18-year-old kid to go through that. I've been clear about that, and that person should get a second chance to explain their story. So Tucker invited him on to have a conversation, and this has led to people insisting that Tucker Carlson gets canceled from all Turning Point future events. Now, why are they saying he should be canceled?
They need to be put in an insane asylum because of that? Really? Okay.
Well, because it's so dangerous that he platformed Nick Fuentes, who has said terrible things
Agreed,
online.
Ghost.
And
Hey,
Nick
Lucids.
Fuentes has been adversarial to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk didn't like Nick Fuentes, so why is Tucker Carlson speaking to him? Like, that's their logic.
Okay.
I spoke to him. I don't like Nick Fuentes. I speak to people I don't like to the whole time, actually. It's a good thing to do. You should get out and speak to people who you disagree with, people who you dislike. It's okay to dislike people. It's not okay to demand that other people be canceled for hosting them and having a conversation with them, or for maybe liking the person. Maybe people want to listen to him. Anyways, this led to Josh Hammer, who is our resident psycho, who really does look like that. Like, that's not AI, okay? That's not AI.
Okay, Candace. Look, I get it. Guy looks like crap. You got to put it out there. I accidentally pause on your face all the time.
He wrote an op-ed in the Daily.
And I don't even mean to do that. See? I can't do it on purpose at all. She does look a little crazy there, but, you know, who cares?
Mail, which they actually published, calling for Tucker Carlson to be neutralized. Yeah, this is him, the guy.
Okay, now we're using...
calls for public
Here we go. And this is the problem I had with the last video, is they were going like, oh, this is dog whistling. This is dog whistling, you know what I mean? And it's just so lefty. It's just such a lefty term to use, you know? Such a lefty thing for them to do. Because he said, you know, you neutralize the fox in the hen house or whatever. And it's like, he was talking about their ideology. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think he's a good person for necessarily doing that, and I think he actually sucks. I don't think Josh Hammer's a good guy. He doesn't seem to be. He seems like a pompous douche. But at the end of the day, I think they took this way too far.
Executions the night before, and then he always backtracks and goes, hey, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant when I said that.
Okay.
We
said the fox in the hen house. Neutralize the fox in the hen house.
Tucker Carlson just hit a new low with this heinous betrayal of my friend Charlie Kirk, who is surely now rolling in his grave. This is yes, you're right. Is this the same Josh Hammer you're thinking, who lied about Charlie's views on Israel changing, even though he was on the text message chain? He lied.
Okay, but I don't have proper context for it. Charlie said one time, giving me no choice but to leave the Israeli cause. I don't know if he was going to go through with that or not. I don't know what his whole thing was. It was one text. I would need the following up text before. I would also like to see the text after. Maybe it paints a story. Maybe they're like, look, let's not blame Israel over one guy. And he's like, maybe you're right. I don't know if that's how the text resolved or not. I don't know what came after that. I don't know what was all before that either. So it's just such a snippet of nothing. And I don't know why Charlie Kirk would blame all of Israel for one Jewish donor. That doesn't seem very nice for Charlie to do. So it doesn't make much sense to me. I need more context, Candace.
Over and over and over again, plus tried to sell his book. Is he actually writing an op-ed claiming that it is Tucker Carlson?
Oh, you're watching Halloween 5? Nice.
Is apparently heinous? Yes.
Hell yeah,
he's
man.
doing that. This is a direct quote from that op-ed. He wrote, "This looks like a war on MAGA and the modern American right. If this looks like a war on MAGA and the modern American right, that's because that is exactly what it is."
Okay.
Carlson and his clan had declared their jihad
and his clan
on the woke forces of civilizational arson on the addle-brained left, but on the forces of civilizational sanity on the MAGA right. They hope to burn.
Now, wasn't Carl? Now, somebody told me, I think it was Ed, told me down in the comment section and all, that Tucker Carlson was defending Sharia law. Is that accurate? Because that's wild if that's the case. I would really like to know.
Down MAGA and build a neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical movement in its stead. The Fox is
see, that's what I don't like Josh Hammer for. He's sitting there saying they're trying that literally Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Nick Fuentes are trying to start a neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical movement. I think he's full of crap on that. I don't think they are. I don't think Candace is even trying to do that per se. maybe anti-biblical. I'm not really sure. She claims to be Catholic and all, but she's not correct in a lot of the things she says about it, but she is newer to it, so I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But as for the other stuff, I don't think that's what they're trying to do at all. I just think Tucker Carlson is a little misguided. I think Candace is insane, and I think that Nick Fuentes is very much a white supremacist. I mean, you can't be a normal MAGA guy or an everyday Joe and go, well, you know, black people, they have lower IQ for a reason. It's in their DNA. It's like, no, that's not how that works actually at all. That's genuinely not how it works. Like, biology goes both ways. The extreme right and the extreme left need to start getting on board with it. It's been around for a while. We know for a fact when that you have a couple of generations that actually have eaten really, really well and have not been malnourished at all in their life, their IQ points go to average or above. Just the way it is. IQ points drop a lot when you're malnourished and when you're eating nothing but crap. Early development, that is. You know, usually doesn't happen nearly as much of a swing whenever you're older in life. If you've managed to eat really, really well up until you're like 20 years old, you're probably going to be pretty intelligent as a person. If you're not malnourished your whole life or eating like, a lot of people do in the hood and whatnot whenever they're given food stamps and their moms are buying them instant snacks and soda so they don't have to raise their kid, So they can have like 5 kids in the household at once and then they're eating nothing but crap. And they're going to grow up. They're not going to be able to pay attention. They're not going to retain information. They're going to be very wild. They're not going to do well in life. And they're going to make very stupid decisions because they did not get any nutrients growing up that they should have been getting. If you want to know why rich people in general have genuinely intelligent kids, their kids are eating the finest meals from the time they're born to the day they die. They are very, very much on their nutrition most of the time, and they generally turn out to be intelligent. A lot of the time. Now, of course, other factors play in. It's not always just that simple, but I'm talking about averages. I'm not talking about every single person. Some people have no hope. Some people are born geniuses. Ben Carson, he's a black man. First man to successfully separate conjoined twins. I'm sure that his blackness really just kept him from being able to be one of the smartest people on the planet. Doesn't make much sense.
In the henhouse, and unless the fox is neutralized, the victim could be the entire extant GOP coalition itself.
Yeah, but when he's talking about the fox, I have no reason to believe that he's not talking about neo-pagan, anti-Western, and anti-biblical. Those could be the fox that need neutralized. You see what I'm saying? Like, he didn't refer to Tucker Carlson as a fox before this, so he's saying the fox is now comfortably ensconced. Does he mean Tucker Carlson? Does he mean the neo-pagan, anti-Western, and anti-biblical movements? What does he mean specifically by the fox, Candace? See, that's the problem. That's where you lose me. That's where other people that were calling this out, Nick Fuentes of all people, going, FBI, look, he said a thing that needs investigated. Look at that. That's some censorship. That's some extreme leftist stuff. Because this doesn't say anything about Tucker Carlson needing to be neutralized. You see what I'm saying? They jumped on that so quick. Just like the cancel culture leftists do. That's interesting.
He actually wrote that. He published that. And it's just incredible because you will notice this thing that all of the people who
Candace
are
and Tucker
now
are both
saying
disgraced
that
to
they
MAGA.
represent the MAGA
Candace isn't
movement
MAGA anymore.
weren't in
Yeah.
it. They are literally people that were the Never Trump movement in 2015. None of them. They're just like, they're like, we've infiltrated MAGA.
You were in that. That was you. That was you, Miss Red Pill Black. That was you, Miss I'm going to dox kids with social autopsy. You were that. You're on video with that. You're on a TED Talk. Are you kidding me? Are you not one of those never Trumpers,
And now we're going to tell you how to turn it into the losing movement that we all represented. Here's how you do it. Censorship, right? We infiltrated MAGA. We hated Trump forever. In fact, these people were all pro DeSantis, even when Trump was up against Ron DeSantis, okay? They were against Trump. They have held the line in hating Trump forever. And now that Trump is inevitable, meaning he's in office and there's nothing they can do about it and he's not going to be reelected, they're pretending that they support Trump and that they're super MAGA by demanding that MAGA cancels Tucker Carlson, who is adored and loved by the MAGA base, of course. Now, if you think it can't get any more ridiculous, you got to check out this very real tweet from the Stop Anti-Semitism Hysterical account. That account awarded me last year the top anti-Semite of the year. Thank you for all of you who voted and made sure that I won that. They actually didn't give me any award, which feels pretty cheap to me. Please don't put me on your account for saying cheap. I'm sure that's not good.
Oh, come on. You could have been funnier than that. You could have had like a giant nose trophy. That would have been way better. You should have ordered one of that and put it in the background here. I bet you don't have the stones for it, though.
Stop Anti-Semitism actually tweeted this. CNN platforming Anna Kasparian. Turning Point USA refusing to cut Tucker Carlson. This is how the Holocaust started. Jew hate.
Okay. I don't think this is how the Holocaust started, but Stop Anti-Semitism sounds like a pretty garbage account. Sounds like a leftist account, to be honest. You know, like the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. They are also very anti-Semite, and yet, they're very Semitic. So, it's one of those things that it's like, I don't know. Is this like some sort of TPUSA account? Like, what is this related to? Genuinely, I'm curious how you're tying this one in.
Grid normalized. I don't
Comment
know. Is
section
that actually
on who
how
really
the Holocaust
did it?
started?
Okay.
I'm asking for a friend. Maybe I need to be re-educated here. Is that what happened?
I'll take a look
Tucker
at
Carlson, someone like Tucker Carlson just had a conversation with someone that he disagrees with. Anna Kasparian went on to like CNN, and that was it. Then there was a Holocaust, and it has to be stopped. I mean, it's not even good. The level of emotional manipulation here isn't even good. It's obviously funny. You should laugh because it's hilarious. They're not good anymore. Were we convinced by this before? Probably. Maybe we all thought every time you mentioned the Holocaust, you go, I must do my part to make sure it doesn't happen. But to hear them say this in this ridiculous and absurd manner,
I'm shocked that an anti-Jewish Twitter page, something like the ADL, would come out and openly say, oh my gosh, this is something, we're comparing this to the Holocaust. Are you kidding me? My hair is getting caught up in that. Are you kidding me, though? Like, for real? Are we for real here? We're shocked about that?
Recognize this has always been
a Kane Corso Mom.
That's exactly what it is. They are trying to manipulate us to censor people, and we're not going to do it. Anyways, Seth Dillon, another resident psycho on X, who pretended once upon a time that he was like a funny guy just telling jokes, went on to Piers Morgan and decided to put Dave Smith, who I love, through a struggle session explaining why.
Great.
And
do you
yes,
have to,
this is
please
the same
don't
Seth
call
Dillon
it that.
at that notorious Hamptons summit, who I told you pressed
I don't care
Charlie,
about who he snuggled with.
A couple of weeks before he died, was horrific to Charlie, made Charlie feel as if he was suddenly sitting down and being told that his viewpoints had changed and it was unacceptable.
I missed that one.
It was a total peer pressure event, or wound up being that in large part thanks to Seth Dillon, who was leading the pack on questioning Charlie on his changing views. Anyways, he has the audacity to put Dave Smith through a struggle session discussing this interview.
Snuggled him. Let's get to it. Yeah, let's watch this struggle
I think
snuggle.
that it would have been a responsible thing and a good thing for the conservative movement if someone as prominent as Tucker, with as large of audiences he has, if he was standing in the way of Nick Fuentes becoming more mainstream. I think that would be a good thing for everybody. And I'm disappointed that it didn't come.
Let me just. Oh man, you don't think grifting is like is intelligent? I'm thinking Candace is intelligent. She's gotten over 1 million subscribers in a month. I think that does take intelligence. In all fairness, man. Just saying, she knows what she's doing. She's just grifting. She's making a lot of money, though. Millions.
But he's free to do whatever he wants to do.
I don't even get
free
to
to
1
criticize him for not handling the interview the way that I think it should have been responsibly handled. I think it was extremely irresponsible.
Okay. Certainly you're free to criticize them. I would say that
you got an Apogee shirt
who are so upset that Candace and Nick Fuentes have become so huge.
Apogee audio?
Honestly, dude, talking to guys like you have no one but yourself to blame for that. It's all over the Israel issue, man. And the reason why they got so much support behind them is because they were against this destruction of Gaza. It was just like the most just horrible, inexcusable thing ever. But
people tell me that Palestine's a genocide, but why were all those people coming back whenever the ceasefire, was brought down? You know what I mean? Whenever they started the ceasefire, where did all those people come from that were walking all the way back? Why were they allowed to leave during a genocide? I'm just curious. Is that normal? Do they normally let people go and take cover during a genocide when they're trying to genocide them? Is it like hide and seek or something where the Israeli government's like, okay, you guys go hide, we'll count, and then we're going to start lobbing missiles? Is that like is that better for their genocide? I'm curious. Because for some reason, there was a whole bunch of people that were walking back once that ceasefire was done from a very far away area. It's kind of weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I missed something, I guess.
I mean, that's a fact. It was low-hanging morality. Hey, I'm against killing children. They tried to put all of us through. How dare you, Candace, you're an anti-Semite for
but I think
saying,
she is intelligent.
or not looking the other way because they're Palestinians. And I guess I'm supposed to think that their life is not worth as much as an Israeli life. Like one Israeli life is equivalent to 1,000 Palestinian children or something. And I rejected that. And I've been...
Well, I can understand why an Israeli would think their life is more valuable than a Palestinian. I can also understand why a Palestinian would think that their life is worth a lot more than an Israeli's. I think they kind of hate each other, Candace. I don't understand that one.
Pretty principled across the board
on
all matters. And that is why I think my audience grew. Certainly didn't grow because I was telling other people they had to shut up. I'm not a part of cancel culture. I don't care. I got into it with Nick Fuentes and everyone said, cancel him, take him off Twitter. Someone needs to do this. If I feel that my ideas are better than something or some...
What do you think about Hassan Piker or Destiny, though? Okay. I think we're on the same page with that, right? That they should be canceled because they've broken the law? I don't know. I don't know if Nick Fuentes has necessarily done that. Oh, he has. He was telling people to go into the Capitol and to take it over, right? Which is weird. He never got arrested for that. A lot of people did. Owen Schroyer got arrested for telling people to not go into the Capitol. Nick Fuentes didn't tell people for that, Nick Fuentes didn't get arrested for telling people to go into the Capitol. Is anybody weirded out by that? So yeah, I think Nick Fuentes probably, by that action, technically, while he's streaming it on, the streaming platforms, probably should have been banned, right? Maybe. I think it's illegal to tell people to do that, right? I don't know. It's weird. Ray Epps did too. He was one of two people that did the illegal thing, and none of them got arrested. I do find that to be weird.
One, if I feel that my ideas are valid, I'll see you in the free markets. But these people can't win in the free markets, so now they're demanding censorship.
United Nations Independent International Commission of Inquiry has concluded that Israel has committed a genocide against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. I mean, I don't care what they've considered. It doesn't matter to me. The United Nations, their declarations have meant nothing to me because they are ran like garbage and by a bunch of woke leftists. I don't trust them. I don't trust any of their declarations at all. And the thing about it is, the genocide in Balochistan and what's been going on in Turkey and what's been going on in Yemen, all those, there are so much larger genocides than what Palestine could even hope. Israel could literally just wipe out all of Gaza, all of Palestine, and it still wouldn't quite be as big as what had happened in Balochistan and Turkey and Yemen, and the Rwandan genocide going on and whatnot, like, the invisible children that have been going on since 95 to today. Or was it 95 or 85? 1985? 1995? I don't know. So, yeah, that is weird. Tucker's dad was in the CIA. Yeah, I guess so. Candace says that it's really weird that all these people are linked to the military, and yet, you can look at, all these other people that she likes that were also linked to, CIA and other stuff like that. So it's like, hey, is it fair game to point that out? It's odd, Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. I don't know why Nick was not arrested with that, But yeah, Egypt has a border with Gaza. Why aren't they held responsible for not opening their borders? Yeah, they should be, Well, yeah, that's the point. Whataboutism, right? That's what Candace is doing. So, I'm just kind of playing her game.
By the way, a lot worse than this starting point. We'll
I think it's fair. If she can whataboutism, I can.
Let you watch this second clip of what Seth Dillon, who clearly does not have a soul.
The only difference is
after
I actually know it's whataboutism. She don't.
To Charlie. Clearly is trying to pretend that he's Charlie's friend and now trying to
use
Charlie's legacy
yeah.
by pretending
God, I wish.
that somehow
I'd be making more money than that.
Tucker Carlson is not a true friend to Charlie because Charlie didn't like Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson spoke to him. Watch this. Truly, this is a psychological operation. These people are nutty. Take a listen.
All right.
I want to know what Dave thinks about Tucker essentially calling Charlie Kirk a heretic by saying that anybody who's a Christian Zionist is a heretic. I mean, that was Charlie Kirk, was it not?
Okay, but I mean, I think obviously he's speaking about evangelical Christians in general and saying that this violates the Bible, like to make it about
Yeah,
Charlie Kirk.
that's a circle that
really
Charlie
cheap
Kirk
point.
fits inside. It applies to him.
Okay, but so he's criticizing a view that Charlie Kirk had. Yeah, I disagreed with Charlie on that too. So what's your point?
He said he hates those people more than he said he hates those people more than anybody else and called them heretics. And yet he spoke at Charlie Kirk's.
Okay, I don't care. Maybe Tucker Carlson wanted to make money. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. Any of these people, a guy who's been on television with Fox News for, some odd, like over a decade. I don't know. So maybe he's just a dick. I don't know.
Memorial.
I guess
so
that's a dumb question
how
for
do
this
you
guy.
reconcile those two things?
Yeah, he obviously didn't hate Charlie Kirk. There you go. Come on. This is like ridiculous.
I mean, maybe.
Yes,
I don't know.
He's making a
maybe he didn't like Charlie Kirk at all, and then maybe once Charlie Kirk got assassinated, he was either like, hey, I can make a lot of money off this, or B, maybe I'll put my differences aside because, hey, that's kind of messed up. I don't know which one was Tucker Carlson. He could be a really good guy. He could be a really bad guy. I genuinely don't know. Candace, what does this have to do with anything, though? I'm curious.
Actually, the Christians who put Israel above their own government and believe that, like, only Jesus can come back if the Jews control the area, that is goofy, and I agree.
It's in the actually. Now this guy's kind of a moron. It's in here. It's in Revelation. They have to build the temple back, and that temple will be desecrated by the Antichrist. That's what's going to happen apparently in Revelation. So actually, that's not nutty. It is literally in every single Bible. Revelations. I don't know exactly where, but that's what's got to take place. They have to rebuild the temple that was destroyed, and then the Antichrist is going to go in there and he's going to declare himself. He's going to make a false miracle happen or something, and then he's going to declare himself the Antichrist in front of the world or something like that, and he's going to desecrate it. So yeah, that does have to take place. So why is that nutty? Why would that be nutty? Why would you agree with Tucker Carlson on that? Tucker Carlson actually would be wrong. So that's interesting. Candace, you read the same Bible. You're a Catholic. So it's in there. It's in Revelation. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did she not know that? I mean, I don't know if this is a criticism
you're
or
saying
not.
you hate Charlie.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't.
Good. If that's the
Man,
argument you want to go with,
something?
okay.
Actually, the argument I'd like to go with is that Seth Dillon is a liar, which is why 2 days before Charlie Kirk was killed, he was explicit in saying he was left with no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause, which would mean he didn't die a Christian Zionist, right?
Maybe? I don't know. It's one text message, Candace. Can you tell me for sure he left the Israel cause? Can you tell me that for sure that he did? Because he said it in a text message that he's like, oh man, with this guy, it makes me so upset. They're going to give me no choice but to leave the Israeli cause. He didn't say, I am now done with the Israeli cause. So I don't know, Candace. Can you give us more context to that text, please?
Common sense.
That's what I'm asking for.
Words. And Seth Dillon, you're aware of this because you put him through 2 weeks before the struggle session in the Hamptons. What was it, August 5th and 6th? Pressing him on the things that he said about Bibi Netanyahu. He was hosting people to have that discussion. But, I guess for some Zionists, you would say it was almost fortunate that Charlie Kirk is no longer here to take that last step that you knew he was taking. You didn't want another
What are you
Tucker
talking
Carlson
about? It never became public. So what Zionists? What Zionists? I'm curious. Man, keeps grabbing onto that and on my little spring up here. What Zionists are happy that he's gone? Why would they be anti-Charlie Kirk? Didn't they like Charlie Kirk before that? It's not like it ever became public that Charlie Kirk was for sure leaving Israel, leaving the Israeli cause and all that. So I don't know. I guess all the Zionists are just in on it and they know about it too?
Owens.
What are you talking about?
Who were very much in the pro-Israel camp and left it because we could not stand your immorality, we could not stand your lies, and we could not possibly think that God's chosen people would allow it. Okay, God's chosen people don't lie. God's chosen people don't kill hundreds of thousands of people and then try to tell you that they're the victim because they're spending tons of money.
When did they start attacking Gaza, though? It happened after October 7th. I don't know. I think the United States would be in every right to do something like that to Canada if they did that to us, right? If Canadians just started flying in and started shooting up festivals and stuff, I think it would be very fair for us to lob a few 100,000 missiles into their country. I wouldn't hold back. I would make sure they never, ever had the stones to do something like that again. I don't know. I don't think it's all that weird, Candace, right?
Money.
Anybody
on Christian
else
Zionists, and yes,
think that that's not necessarily weird?
To get up on stage and to lie about what is in the Bible.
People don't give me a reason why that's a bad thing.
Manipulate people, to tell them that what's right here in the Bible is that they shouldn't follow Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. And yes, I would deem you to be, therefore, a heretic. So I hope I'm clear about what I think you are, right? People.
I don't know about anything about the struggle session in the Hamptons. I actually don't even care if it happened. For all I know, it's just two people talking about their beliefs and having a bit of a squabble. I fully support them having a struggle session in the Hamptons. One guy going, look, this is why we need to stay with this, and Charlie going, I don't know if I need to stay with this or not, and putting him through the ringer, whatever. I think that's totally normal, and it happens in every company. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things to where it's like, I don't even care if there was a struggle session. She's going to have to prove that struggle session came out to an assassination. That's my issue. It's like, how do we get from there to here? How do we do it? Give me the pieces. Link it together.
Are people that pretend to be Christians and make a ton of videos. Some of them simply because they're paid to do so. Some of them because they're in the military and these are their instructions. And manipulate people.
How do you know this? Anybody? Any examples?
And want to become close to God.
Any examples?
By telling them that they won't be saved unless they support this abomination in the Middle East.
So, about 20 minutes. Okay.
Anyways, this leads us, of course, Charlie's last words in that text chain. He fought tooth and nail to make sure that Tucker Carlson stayed on the Turning Point USA speaking list. That's the reality, okay?
Any proof?
That's the reality. Those were virtually his last public words that we can read from his private text exchanges.
Okay, let's read them.
And now you're trying to convince us that the best way to honor him would be not to listen to what Charlie Kirk himself said. This leads us to another episode.
I didn't see anything about him, like, them trying to get Tucker Carlson off. Did you guys?
Micro series, which
I don't recall that part.
Take a listen.
And he basically said, I don't appreciate
Did I miss
being
that?
morally blackmailed.
Huh.
And, you know,
why is
and every
everyone
time
using
people
an
would say that to him,
SF7B?
he
That's
would
driving
dig
me
his heels
nuts.
in. It's like, well, maybe Tucker's going to give 2 speeches now at AmFest.
She's got the screenshots from an internal chat that Charlie was doing.
These are the texts, right? So let's just read it here. Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. Okay, so that is Charlie Kirk. That's what it was. That's right. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Ugh. Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Now he says, please don't invite Candace. That might feel like good short-term, and they had all that conversation. I don't know how it played afterwards. Maybe he was like, okay, I won't do any of that. Maybe, maybe it's not Israel's fault that another Jewish donor. So at least 2 people that he could be mad at of Jewish donors. The problem is we don't know where this text message went afterwards. That's my issue. She's gonna have to provide the proof for that. Okay? Now, I believe that they probably were trying to get Tucker off of there. Maybe they didn't like it. But how does that lead to Charlie losing his life? I want to know. Can you connect it for me?
TPUSA.
Should be simple.
And right up there it says, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year, because we won't cancel Tucker. And I'm thinking of inviting Candace.
Okay.
Whoa.
A few moments later.
It brings me no pleasure to criticize Tucker Carlson as much as I have been doing.
Okay.
But he's become the leading tip of the spear of what can only be described as a cancerous force threatening to engulf the entire American right.
Okay. I don't understand. He doesn't like Tucker Carlson. That seems like the same guy that's like, hey, please don't bring these people in here. I don't like them. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people who argue whenever they're up top. Like, shoot, Game Grumps did that, right? Didn't they have a big argument and a big falling out? Know what I mean? Between him and John? It's not that weird. I don't know. Seems like normal stuff.
They just can't stop, man. They just cannot curb that Zionism. They can't do it. We'll see.
Well, that's because he's an open Zionist. That's why he can't. He literally is pro-Israel and Israel first.
I wanted to read this email that came in because
I don't think that's weird. I don't think it's weird for an open pro-Israel and Israeli first guy to come out and not like people who don't like Israel. Good Lord, my pause game's crazy. I just don't see at all why that would be weird for someone to do. Do you guys? Do you guys see anything weird about that? I don't know. I think the pro-Israel, Israeli first guy, much like Ben Shapiro, probably going to be Israel first. Probably not going to get along with Tucker Carlson. I don't think Ben Shapiro gets along with Tucker Carlson, really. I think they don't see eye to eye.
Somebody had asked.
Is it weird for Tucker Carlson? Is it weird for Ben Shapiro? Is he in on it too?
I took the obvious answer, which was to slay a Goliath, right? To slay the Goliath. And somebody wrote me this email and reminded me, of course, of the narrative beyond David slaying Goliath, David and his unique friendship with Jonathan in the Bible. And I am going to read that email to you.
Nita.
Somebody wrote, Candace, David and Jonathan were biblical figures
I don't think I saw you
from
in
the
here
Bible
before.
who shared a deep and profound friendship, forming a covenant
The
of
Predator,
mutual support.
right.
Jonathan was the son of King Saul, and David was a shepherd who became a great warrior and future king. Their bond was strong, despite the fact that Saul became jealous of David's success, leading him to threaten David. Their bond, the friendship, began after David defeated Goliath and grew into an unlikely but profound friendship. The Bible describes Jonathan's loving David as, quote, his own soul, and forming a covenant with him. Jonathan's loyalty was so great that he gave David his
Is she
robe,
actually comparing herself
his
to
armor,
David?
and other symbols of rank, an act that has been interpreted as a transfer of succession. Jonathan's support, Jonathan repeatedly protected David from his father, Saul, warning him of the king's intentions to kill him.
Okay.
After Jonathan's death, David grieved deeply for his friend.
She's mad that
David
Charlie and her were
honored
not close.
his promise to Jonathan.
I don't know
and
how
taking
close they
care
were.
For his son.
She's
I love that. I actually love that interpretation.
she's shown a lot of, text messages from 2018. Doesn't really show a whole lot from today.
That I didn't even consider in that moment when I answered that question. And I just love it. I just wanted to say thank you to the person who wrote the email and made me consider that.
Okay. So
That
the person's
it really
comparing
is
her to
about
David.
honoring your friend and properly grieving for your friend and
All right.
realizing that you will not be able to be perceived as someone who even cared about the individual if you don't fight for them, if you don't stand up for them, if you don't look after their legacy, take care of their legacy. Don't allow these people like the Josh Hammers.
Can we get on with it though?
It really shows you
Any other evidence?
in charge of that person's legacy. It's twisted. It's very, very twisted, but everybody can see it. There's no doubt that everybody can see it. All right, you guys, I want to run for you one more time before I get into your comments that tomorrow we're going to be dropping this amazing episode, me having sat down with Norm Finkelstein. So take a listen.
The Economist magazine,
Mr. Finkelstein.
it describes
Let's see what happens
Gaza
here.
as, quote, a human rubbish heap.
Yeah, it's pretty well destroyed.
The leading UN official on Gaza
They did a really bad job on the genocide by allowing all these people to, go take cover and, leave Gaza. It's weird.
describes it as, quote, a toxic dump. For the people of Israel, Gazans are vermin. They're garbage. They're human refuse.
You guys were the ones that insisted that we all have a perspective on October 7th. Then when we looked and we pierced that veil, we went, oh my goodness, how was I ever pro-Israel? And now you want us to shut up.
Well, I got a question, though. Why don't they ever criticize what really happened on October 7th, though? I don't understand. Unless she seems to think that didn't really happen. Was it all just set up? But I want to know if there's any evidence of that. See, if there was evidence that Israel actually committed October 7th on their own people, I'd totally get behind this in an instant. You know what I mean? I'd be like, okay, yeah, Israel's pretty evil. The problem is we have actually no idea, right? They said that that's happened with no proof. And I have a really hard time jumping on board when I see terrorists jump over the border and kill kids, and then Israel responds that way. I think it was an appropriate response. They've been telling them for a while, right? Hey, don't bomb us. Stop bombing us. We're tired of you bombing us. And the most Israel would do is just use their defense systems and not bomb them back. And then they started bombing them back really hard. And they're like, we're tired of this. Stop doing that. I think that's reasonable, Now, if anybody has any proof to the contrary, I'll gladly look at it. But I need actual proof that Israel, was not getting bombed by Hamas. And that, Palestine isn't pro-Hamas. And that Palestine isn't, hey, that's a gay guy right there, let's throw him off our roof type country. Because if they are, then I don't care what's actually happening to them at that point. They've made their bed and they're not fixing it. You know? They want to fix their beds, not be pro-Hamas, not be pro-terrorist, not throw gay people off roofs, you know, not take away human rights. Then, hey, you know what? I'll back Palestine. But they've got to make sure that 100% that they aren't those type of people, because everything I see about them is pro-terrorism, pro-Hamas, and let's, oppress people and oppress women. So at the end of the day, it always depends, right? So I would need definitely some proof that Palestine is innocent. I also really would like for people to pay attention to other genocides in the world, like Yemen, like what's going on in Turkey, and what's been going on in Africa for the past 35 years with the invisible children, and with Balochistan. Those are all significantly larger genocides than what's been going on in Palestine, period. Even if Palestine is a genuine genocide, it's on the smaller end of those four. And then not to mention, look at China, what they're doing with the Uyghur Muslims and their concentration camps. It's a genocide. And nobody really wants to talk about those. It's kind of just weird. It's weird, right? Anybody else think it's weird? Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, guys. That really helps out a lot. Let's get on forward with this.
Problem here. A billion.
I'll be hopping off here before too long.
Class of Jewish supremacists are now flagrantly using money as a blackmail weapon to silence not just criticism of Jews, but silence criticism of an ongoing genocide.
Okay. Well, hopefully that'll actually have something of substance to it. Maybe.
I am very, very, very excited about that. You're going to love it. It's, like I said, even if you support it, you go, Queen.
Let's get to this.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I don't think it's a good look, Josh. But I shouldn't say that because on top of the struggle session or within the struggle section that Seth Dillon was putting, actually, was this on a separate show? Okay, it wasn't on Piers Morgan, right, Skylar? Okay, listen to what Seth Dillon says about why Nick Fuentes is a terrible human. I don't know why, but this made me laugh out loud because it's quite childish. Take a listen.
He's got the right to talk to Nick if he wants to. I think what a lot of people are expecting, though, from a conversation like that is if you're going to bring somebody who's like the leader of the Groypers, who has so much animosity for Jews.
Man, what a
and
garbage
just,
name
he says the most horrible things. He said, well, I don't even know if I can repeat some of the things that he said, but he's called JD Vance names, calling him fat and ugly, and that he has a brown family, like just his attitude towards minorities, towards women, towards Jews, and the things that he said, the glorification of Hitler. These are all things that you would think Tucker, claiming to be a Christian and a decent person, would have a lot of interest.
Okay,
in
I just wanted to show that it's
Nick
like.
On.
Okay, I think we can all deal. JD Vance is a big boy, okay? If he got called fat, he can...
I don't care, Candace. I don't care about any of that. Please, just provide any kind of evidence. I don't care that they're smack-talking each other. It doesn't mean anything. Hassan Piker and Asmongold do this, okay? Now they're talking about not liking each other over certain ideology. This isn't news to me, Candace. Anything to do with them assassinating Charlie Kirk or betraying him? Anything, please?
He can address that, or actually just be an adult and not care at all because you're married. Oh, he got called fat and ugly and brown. Who cares? Like, welcome to the internet. These are men that are in their 40s.
Think JD Vance is called brown?
You cannot deal with somebody calling you names, just so you know.
That's
the
a weird
internet
one.
is optional.
I don't know about that.
Watching Tucker Carlson sit down with Nick Fuentes is optional. If you don't like someone, you are not required by law to watch their content. So toughen up, Buttercup.
That's fair.
The thing that upsets me the most is that these are the kinds of people that rule over us. You know what I mean? Like, these are Josh Hammer is actually the editor at large at Newsweek. He's openly talking about his hostilities towards white men, right? Because he views Jewish people as a separate race. He's a Jewish supremacist. There's no question that that's what Josh Hammer is because of the way he's...
I don't care. I'm accepting that. I'm perfectly fine with him being a Jewish supremacist and all that. Can we get to like the actual proof and stuff?
Speaks about European white men. And yet he's just allowed to be at a higher station in life than you. Why? Because of his connections or something? Does he seem to be more intelligent than you? Absolutely not. So the whole thing is absolutely wacky that they can't deal with something as soft as, oh, he
Okay.
called him fat and ugly and brown. Like, okay, like every second of the day, I'm being called mean names.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna get to a couple of sponsors, and then I'll
Why
read
was
the
he
rest of
called
your
brown?
comments. All right, you guys, telling you about Paleo Valley because
Okay, and then I think she just goes to her comments. Okay, so she just showed that at the end. That was just completely worthless. So we saw them that they were insulting each other, and then that's that. So I guess that's the end of that. Great. I'm glad that he's insulting Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson is insulting him, and that Nick Fuentes also doesn't like them. He doesn't like Nick Fuentes. I don't care that they're all fighting. What is this? How is this any more evidence at all to what happened to Charlie Kirk? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, whatever, Candace. I'm glad we sat through yet another episode of absolutely nothing. It's weird that there were 3 military guys at the same time, right? That's a weird one. I'll give that to her. There are 3 military guys. The only issue is I cannot possibly believe her that she had somebody that was on that flight that was like, oh man, they were on a secret mission. And it's just like, why would those 3 guys tell that person that? Like, genuinely, why would that happen? And then you have no evidence whatsoever again. Well, I can't tell you who it is. It's an anonymous source. That's a problem, Candace. Every single time you give us this bombshell leaks, it's backed by nothing. I want something for it. You got to understand, when you keep putting all this quote-unquote evidence out there, where it's like, ooh, a little birdie told me that there was another little birdie taking a shit in the woods. It's like, okay, that's a cool story, but what does it have to do with anything? And also, I mean, I guess you don't have to prove it, because I guess it could happen. But at the same time, there's still the logical leap of, what does this have to do with anything? Why is it significant that there were these Egyptian guys here? Why would there be Egyptians here in the first place to aid in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Why Egypt? None of it makes sense, Candace. Out of all the types of people that may have wanted Charlie gone, why Egypt? Can you tell us that? No. You're just like pulling things out of thin air and saying that this could be connected. And then also on the same foot saying these people definitely are in on it, like the FBI, the CIA, and, TPUSA. And then she stops the buck short. It's not making any sense to me. It's just not making any sense. I don't know, guys. Maybe she will come out with evidence at some point. I hope she does. It would be nice to find out that she's not just absolutely, completely crazy. But at the moment, she comes off as completely psychotic. It's not good. Please, Candace, figure this out, you know? Seriously, stop putting information out there that's irrelevant and tying it to things that you have no evidence for whatsoever. Could just be a coincidence. Very well could just be a coincidence. It's definitely possible. I don't know if it is or isn't. I'm not going to sit here and say that TPUSA is in on it. I'm not going to sit here and say that the government is in on it for sure. Because everything that led up to this happening was very much possible. This isn't some magic bullet. There's no indicator that this was a magic bullet or anything like that. Absolutely none. Just some internet people that are really dumb that think a 30-06 only shoots 1 round. That they don't have up to 255 grain that could kill a moose. Or 55 grain, where it won't go through all the way through a small coyote, because it's called coyote shot. Know what I mean? That's kind of the problem. We are being lied to. What part of that do you not get? Look, Matt, Dan shoved Charlie off them chair. Look, dummy. What? McCoy Preacher said so. His was bloody. She showed that he had no blood. Catching TP and lies, getting closer. Okay, so what does that mean, though? The guy may just be literally wanting to put himself in there into a better position to make himself look like a hero. He could just be a piece of shit. Have you thought about that? McCoy Preacher could just be an actual piece of garbage. I don't know that means they killed him. You know what I mean? The guy could be like, oh man, I was there and I did so much that I could because now he's taking over or now he's part of it, or you know what I mean? I don't know if the guy's just a piece of garbage trying to ham his own story up. He was there and he was ready to take over. Or what, you know? Yeah. Yeah, of course the security pushed him off the chair. I would hope security would have done that. Because below the table, there's not a line of sight for another shot to ring out. They needed to get Charlie Kirk down because he was hit. You know what I mean? That totally tracks with what security should do. He gets hit, get him down on the ground, make sure he doesn't get hit again, and also create a space where medical workers can get in there and take cover and work on Charlie so they don't get shot. You know what I mean? That's absolutely how that should go down. That makes total sense. You know what I mean? I think it absolutely makes sense anyway. But yeah, I mean, Candace shows you. Yeah, I mean, nobody has the full footage, unfortunately. Full footage may prove Candace right. I don't know if it will or won't, but the fact of the matter is we don't have it, and she doesn't know. And that's what I have such a... Oh, yeah, I guess I do. I do have the best bosses, don't I? No, it's just one of those things that, at the end of the day, none of us know what absolutely happened 100%. But with Candace, absolutely... Okay, no blood was on the preacher's son. I get it. I understand. Didn't give him aid. The preacher's son is not the medical guy that was on staff, though. See, they have medical people there, and they have security there. I wouldn't expect any of TPUSA staff to jump in and act like security. That's why they have security. I don't expect any of them to jump in and start applying any kind of medical aid if they weren't the ones trained for that. They had those people there on site already. Once Charlie got hit, they jumped on him and went to work. You know, that's how they got him so fast into the vehicle and took him to the hospital. You know what I mean? You have all the video footage, yeah. And he probably did, yeah, realistically, where he got hit, yeah, it probably was pretty immediate. I mean, they tried what they could, from what I saw. But that's the thing, like, that's what I'm talking about, though. So, at the end of the day, no blood on the preacher. So yeah, the guy lied. Again, he could just be a piece of garbage trying to ham himself up. I don't know that he was necessarily in on it just because he lied about blood being on him. You see what I mean? Whether he's covered in blood or not, how does that prove that they were in on it? That's what I'm trying to get to. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. There's very much a lot of missing pieces in between that. There needs to be links. He wasn't covered in blood because he didn't want to get near Charlie, actually, and he's, you know, somehow coordinating this. If there's evidence of him being in the background coordinating the shot, that would explain a lot, right? Or he's just an a-hole that was like, oh man, I'm now running TPUSA and I'm a part of this whatever actually position he got. And I just want to make myself look really, really good, like I fought with Charlie till the end, you know? Didn't the guy also say that he, like, co-founded it with Charlie or something? Sounds like an a-hole. Sounds like a guy that wants to act like he was there from the beginning and that he knows everything and all that stuff. Seems like a corporate douche. You know what I mean? I think that's totally possible. And if that's where the buck stops, none of what he's doing is surprising, right? Because he's a corporate douche. I don't know. Maybe it does go further than that. But the problem is I don't have those links to connect that. You know what I mean? He could have meant Charlie had blood on him. He said, yeah, it could have been too. I mean, he could be misspeaking. I guess I'm being a little harsh. The guy might not be a corporate douche after all. I don't know. He kind of seems like one. You know, not gonna lie, he does seem like one to me. But I could be completely wrong about it, and the guy might not actually be that bad of a guy. You know, he was in shock. You know, now, this was in his speech afterwards, but yeah, I mean, who knows what he remembers or not? Maybe he remembers more blood being around than what was there, because, I mean, shoot, that wound did spurt really, really bad. And I don't understand, because Candace was like, when it hit, I saw no blood or anything like that. There was no blood anywhere or something. And it was like, actually, when I first saw that, and I saw the blood come out of his neck, that's when I was like, he didn't survive. When I saw that, I was like, there's no way. And this was before any narrative. This was right as soon as the first student's phone uploaded it to Instagram or to not Instagram, to X. You know what I mean? The autopsy will show what happened. Yeah, there's that too. People misspeak. Let's see. Was there something I missed? Autopsy. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see all of it. We'll have to see all of it, what happens. I don't know. Anything's possible. At the end of the day, we don't know. And yeah, there was definitely a lot. I think that the thing about it is I think they're confusing the statement with they didn't see it explode all out of him, like, that. But the thing about it is when something goes in, it's pushing things in. So it may have stopped up the bleeding a lot. And that bullet, that's why you don't remove things. If you get stabbed or something, you don't remove it from you because you'll bleed out way faster. A lot of the times when it goes in, that stuff is still holding pressure back. You know what I mean? So there's that. But just look at his son turn away and walk away as if he's going to take a dump. That's not what happened, though. His hands went right up to his ears. You know what I mean? And then he called. And if they're correct in what TPUSA said, because TPUSA had came out and made a statement saying, hey, it was Alex something, I guess, came out and said, well, he was told if anything ever happens to him, ever, immediately call my wife. That was his job. Maybe he did. Looks like it possibly to me, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's definitely possible. Said my son called me with blood on him. No, his son lifted the phone and turned to walk away in less than 1 second. Okay, but what happened when he was behind the tent? It wasn't less than 1 second. It was 7 seconds. We watched it on my channel. You never see his face, ever. So when his hands go up, you don't know if they go into his ear or if they go onto the phone. We don't know. He already had his phone out under his chest. Who knows what he was doing with it? Was he using Bluetooth, maybe? On his cameras? Was he filming with his phone? Was he already on the phone with somebody? Was he texting somebody at that time? Pulled his phone up after he heard that, saw what happened to Charlie, turned around, walked away. There's a possibility that he called his dad. His dad said the moment it happened, but his dad didn't give a time frame. He didn't say within a second or anything like that. It was literally in a second. His dad could have been hyperbolic too. I don't know, So, there's that. No one knows you're in shock, truly sad. I mean, no one knows when you're in shock? Is that what you mean? That is a given, but he literally turned his back on Charlie before he even knew. Wait, he already knew. We don't know if he already knew or not, though. That's my point. Well, you have no idea if he knew or not. What are you talking about? You have no idea. We don't know what he knew. Another thing is he could have been on the phone with 911. He literally could have lifted his phone, and did emergency call. I don't know. I don't know who all he called. He goes out to his car. He made him in 5, 6, 7 phone calls. He also was probably walking away. Probably because there was a, gunshot. Probably going and taking cover, whatnot, Nobody plugged his wound. They were grabbing evidence. Look at the videos. Yeah, I did watch the videos. There are people down on Charlie. It's not like his body was laying there and they were just taking video down. What are you talking about? What do you mean? There's video of people taking video down, but most people are out of the stadium by then. So when did that take place? We don't even have a timestamp for it, We don't know when specifically they started taking the cameras down, He did no dialing, so he wasn't on his phone at all. Turned his head in less than a second. You don't see his head. For 7 seconds, you don't see his head. I'll pull up the video, okay? I'll pull up the video that I saw yesterday for you. I will show you. You cannot see his head until after his back is turned, okay? Let's see. Was it this one? It wasn't this one. It was this one. Everyone, right. How's it going? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you here. Let's see. Where does she get to the point where his hands go up? Is it here? Why is my arm up? There's messages. Is it this here? No, it's back a little bit more, right? Was it on this video? Am I on the wrong video? I go over all this. Maybe this is the wrong video. Maybe it was the Mr. Beast video, right? Was it? Well, I didn't. Ooh, I'm clipping a little bit there, it sounds like. I need to turn that down. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So they're showing him here. You can't see his head. See what I mean? You see, he was raising his phone. Well, was he raising his phone? Because here's the thing. Like, his phone is in his hand the whole time. And it's down under him like this. When the gunshot happens, he goes up like that. So let me show you. This is pretty simple, okay? Oh, I'm making faces.
Anyway,
well, this is the third time. That's so crazy. It was on an older video.
That's crazy.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself here. Quick. Okay, look. Just watch him. He has his phone down here, and he goes. Like, it's crazy, right? You never see where his phone went. You don't know if he's plugging his ears. And guess what? I was correct, too. They said that he plugged his ears. Right here.
Loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked. Yeah. He put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand.
Yeah. And that's what I said he possibly did. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, Ed, don't be deleting her messages. She hasn't... I'm literally in the middle of talking with her, man. Yeah, there's no reason to do that, guys. If they're not breaking the rules, don't be banning them. I'm going to have to take away some wrenches if that keeps happening. Okay? I've been saying this a little bit now, and people aren't listening to me. Now, I'm not going to get, like, upset right at the moment, but this is going to be the last warning, guys. Okay? He didn't have time to dial 911? Are you sure? Watch this, okay? I'm going to show you. Emergency call. You see that button? Guys, he had plenty of time. What are you talking about? I can put people's contacts right here on my home screen, too. I could go to my home screen. I can go right here. And I could drag out contacts out onto my home screen. I can literally put them out here. Let's see if I can... Oh, I don't want to give away people's names. Maybe I can do my own numbers or my own thing. Maybe I can do this. Let's see here. I can literally put these out. Oh, how do I do it? Oh, no, it's not letting me drag it right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If I want to put people's contacts on my home screen, I can do that and click it and dial it quickly. You know what I mean? So it's not that crazy. But yeah, guys, we definitely need to not be banning people if they're not breaking any, like, laws or any terms of service. Just saying. No, it's all good. Okay. Yeah, we'll just let the timeout come up, and then let's just not do that anymore, okay? Because it's driving down engagement, too. Unless these people are actually getting to a point where they're threatening me, or if they're doing something against YouTube terms of service, I don't want them banned. You know? Yeah, you can also voice call. Yeah, absolutely. See, that's another thing. You know what I mean? You can voice call. You can, there's all sorts of different things that you can do in general to make dialing your phone fast. This is not, you know, your old school flip phone anymore. It is a nice flip phone. I like how it flips. You know, already this 5 is going, they're wanting me to upgrade to a 7. I'm not doing that until this thing dies. Just like my 3. I had a 3 before that. 3 years ago. And my child stabbed it with a fork. Destroyed it. So yeah, there's that. And I used that phone forever. It sucked. But yeah, you don't need dial anymore at all, anything. You know, it's just, you know, one of those things. By the way, they're waiting most likely until Tuesday because of Army and Navy people overseas. But seem, D66 is going to be the winner. Wait. I have no idea what you're talking about, man. You're going to have to clarify. I don't know what we're talking about there. No, I know, Ed. Well, like I said, we'll wait until the timeout's over. No harm, no foul, you know. She'll come back, and then we'll be good. Hopefully, she's still here. But yeah, I'm just explaining, like, you know, I just don't want people, you know, unless it's something illegal or something. I'm just really prefacing that because it's, you know, it's just not what the channel's about. I don't want to censor people. You know what I mean? I letting people be nasty simply because when they be nasty, other people can read it. They make their decisions really nicely, you know. I'm trying to be less nasty out there. Trying to be like, oh, you had Election Day Wednesday. Okay, gotcha, and your results aren't in yet, huh? So they're waiting until Tuesday because of Army and Navy people overseas. Yeah, that's weird. We used to have, you know, the military. Guess what? They get it done. That's what military is supposed to do. They're supposed to get it done right then and there and not be a drag. They don't need a date. They don't wait, you know, or they don't wait, specifically. They don't have people wait on them. The military gets it done on time every time. That's supposed to be the military way. So that's I just never have bought that whenever any kind of government's sitting there saying, oh, we got to give the military a few extra days. Really? That shows a weakness in the military, in my opinion. They can't get some paper turned in on time? A little weird. You know what I mean? Not sure if people know, but you can even speak to text now. Yeah, exactly. That too. Keep it civil. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Keep it civil. Keep it civil for sure. I think a timeout's warranted if they're cussing me out for sure. I think that's fine. You know what I mean? Depends on how bad it gets. Just, I'd like to see it. Unless it's bad. Unless they're actually going for, like, racial slurs. Like I said, if it really violates TOS, go ahead and get it. No permission needed. Go ahead and get it because I don't want to get flagged for that. I don't want my channel getting a strike or going down because somebody decided to come in here and be that, crazy. So it's totally acceptable. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to hop off here. I got some pumpkins to carve with the kids and, all that good stuff. These pumpkins are needing to get done now. We told the kids we'd get it done. So anyway, though, guys, thank you all so much for coming here. I really do appreciate it. This was a really, really, really good show. Seriously, guys, you all made this show amazing. Thank you all. I'll be on again tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow's Halloween. I might have to give you guys a rain check. I'll be on Saturday for sure. But, tomorrow, it's Halloween. Got to go trick-or-treating with the kids, make that day good. Fair enough. Emergency call would make things faster. However, still very strange behavior. Yeah. See, I mean, it's just those little things that, Candace... See, I don't expect everybody to think about that. Candace Owens should be on it if she's going to make these accusations, though. Right? To millions of people. I feel like she should know about these features on the phone. Her iPhone has it, too. So, that's kind of my criticism about it. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Yeah, you all have a good night, too. Seriously, I really appreciate it. I wish I could stick around longer. To the person I was arguing with, what was her name? Elizabeth F. Feel free to come back on either maybe tomorrow night or Saturday. We'll talk about it a little more. No hard feelings for that, all that good stuff. Just, let's be cordial. Let's be nice to each other. We can talk about this stuff. It's okay. Thank you all again. Ed, everything's fine. You're good, man. Don't worry at all, man. So, thank you guys. Thanks, Race, for being here. Thanks, Madness. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Destroyer. Thanks, Kane Corso Mom. Everybody else. Thanks to Jay Witt for shouting me out. Seriously. Just absolutely amazing show, guys. You all are awesome. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later. Ooh, again, I'm on the wrong one there. Wow. Every time.